Lo, by Charles Hoyfort, Part 1, Chapter 4J. In the Monthly Weather Review, August 1886, it is said that, in Charleston, September 4th, 3 showers of hot stones had been reported. An examination of these stones, shortly after they had fallen, forced the conviction that the public was being made the victim of a practical joke. How an examination of stones could demonstrate whether they had been slung humorously or not, is more than whatever brains I have can make out. Upon September 4th, Charleston was desolated. The great earthquake had occurred upon August 31st, and continuing shocks were terrorizing the people. Still, I'd go far from my impressions of what we call existence if I'd think that terror, or anything else, was ever homogeneous at Charleston, or anywhere else. Battles and shipwrecks, and especially diseases, are materials for humorists, and the fun of funerals never will be exhausted. I don't argue that in the midst of desolation and woe, at Charleston, there were no jokers. I tell a story as I found it recorded in the Charleston News and Courier, September 6th, and mention my own conclusion, which is that wherever jocular survivors of the catastrophe may have been cutting up capers, they were not concerned in this series of occurrences. At 2:30 o'clock, morning of September 4th, stones, which were found to be warm, fell near the News and Courier building, some of them bounding into the press room. 5 hours later, when there was no darkness to hide mischievous survivors, more stones fell. It was a strictly localized repetition, as if one persisting current of force. At 1:30 o'clock in the afternoon again stones fell, and these were seen, coming straight down from a point overhead. If any conviction was forced, it was forced in the same old way as that in which for ages convictions have been forced, and that is by forcing agreements with prior convictions. Other details were published in the Richmond Whig. It is told that the stones, which were flint pebbles, ranging from the size of a grape to the size of a hen's egg, had fallen upon an area of 75 square feet, and that about a gallon of them had been picked up. In a descriptive narrative of the earthquake of August 31st, 1886, Carl McKinley, an editor of the News and Courier, tells of 2 of these showers of stones, which, according to him, undoubtedly fell. The localized repetitions of showers of stones are so much like the localized repetitions of showers of water that one inclusive explanation, or expression, is called for. Insects did them, or the fishmonger of Worcester had moved to South Carolina. A complication has been developing. Little frogs fell upon Mr. Stoker and his horses, but we had no reason to think that either Mr. Stoker or his horses had anything to do with bringing about the precipitation. But the children of Claveau did seem to have something to do with showers of stones, and trees did seem to have something to do with the precipitations of water.